Oh Jesus, I forgot. Oh, okay, okay. Oh my god. This happened. This is the second time this happens. Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go because we have some very interesting stuff to talk about. Um, yeah. So, first of all, Bitcoin going to $1 million. Can it happen? How can it happen? I think it can, and I will show you why and how. And there are a couple of arguments why this will happen at some point, and there is one very convincing one that you guys probably are going to have even a good laugh about. And then we're also going to talk about Veve. Veve collectibles very hot at the moment. I'm going to show you some really big things around the Blackpink drop of Veve, and we're going to talk about a little bit of a reveal here. Some people know already what I'm talking about, but all of that after the intro. Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning to you, GM fam. What's going on? Pro Legendary is here. Yeah, the Hide the Pain Herald was very accurate today. It was that I started the stream without the microphone again for the second time. And then also we have Walrus King here. What's up? Trucking Hank. We have G Money. We have Chris Thomas. We have Dirk Late. Uh, yeah, and we see. Yeah, Dirk Late is already spoiling some of the news. Jisoo posted the Blackpink drop and has links in the repost. That is crazy. That is very good to know. Actually, with the links, I didn't even see that. So that is absolute fire, as Trucking brings here fire. Um, Guys, make sure to smash up the like button right now if you're excited, and to help out the live stream go out a little bit more. The more likes we've smashed, the more people will be informed. So subscribe to the channel with notifications on, and let's jump right in. So. Let's, as always, start with a look at Bitcoin, and check out the Bitcoin price here. So let's get rid of some of the lines here. So we are still consolidating for Bitcoin. This is a very long and prolonged consolidation, and we still have this downward sloping trend line as a trend line, but we outlined before that this could possibly be a bull flag, and I would say that if this breaks soon, then this we could still consider this as a bull flag. But the longer it gets, the less likely the less we can consider this a bull flag, because the flag shouldn't be too super long, right? So and the bearish scenario is still in place. It didn't happen as deep as we expected it. The wick only got to here, not to down here, and now, but we are still forming a downtrend here for Bitcoin, right? So we could definitely see something like that. Whoops, MB just excited, can't sleep no more. Well, that is definitely happening. And overall, about crypto and everything, I'm super excited. And the reason is, so as we're sloping down, some of the people that are not so long in crypto are losing hope, it seems, which is completely normal in these corrections, in these consolidation phases. And this consolidation can really go on for a longer time. I mean, theoretically, we could have the sell in May, go away thing going on right now. Theoretically, we could just consolidate into July, September. There would be no problem. The bull market would be perfectly fine with that. But what we see is like, oh, this and this happened. Bull market ended. This and that happened. The bull market is now over. Guys, the bull market is not over just because we have a 20% correction, right? And I will show you why. If anything, then this is a perfect buying opportunity. And maybe that deserves its own video, all the metrics around why this is a buying opportunity. But as I said in the beginning, we were talking about why Bitcoin is going to 1 million. So let's see. But let's first get rid of the negative stuff. Yesterday, Fed Chair Powell spoke. And Fed Chair Powell spoke about inflation being higher than thought, expects rates to hold steady. So what he basically said is that they're going to hold the rate for longer, which only will add to the consolidation phase, because if we don't see the rate cuts, then very likely parabolic move is going to it's going to take more time to happen, because the price goes coherent to a global liquidity expansion. So if the Fed lowers the rates, then very likely the European Union will follow, and some others like UK will follow as well. So you will have global cheaper availability of credits for the industry. Thus, you will have the industry being able to expand more quickly, and at the same time you will have extensive money printing and injection of money into the systems. So that definitely will happen. We already saw it basically with the reduction of selling bonds into the market. So that was the first step. But basically Powell is being a little bit more hesitant here, but they are not going to hike more rates, so they just keep it stable. And they had one of the indicators, I think the PPI it was, where do we see it? Down here somewhere in the article. Yeah, here. Tuesday brought a fresh round of discouraging inflation data when the Labor Department's Producer Price Index, a PPI, a proxy for wholesale costs, rose a higher than expected 0.5% in April on the back of a surge in service prices. But don't worry, they are going to bring the CPI, however, in some form, they will bring it down. So we saw that they took out coffee, for example, from the basket, which rose like 70 or 80%. So now you still pay the same, and most people drink coffee, but if it's not in the basket, then the CPI will just be lower, and then you can do something, right? So, and you also have to look at individual reasons why things are up. Still, with the two wars going on and everything, you have like high costs for oil, and that in itself puts pressure on prices to the upside. Now there's something going on that has nothing to do with inflation, but prices are still going up, and that is the meme stocks are back. So it seems that we are in a global meme season. So yesterday and the day before, GameStop and AMC went crazy, and these were stocks that were pushed by Wall Street bets, right? Also in the years before, it was the same, AMC and GameStop. So, and we will come back to this during this live stream because it's important for a prediction, right? But basically what's happening is that if you didn't catch the whole thing, the whole trend with GameStop and AMC a couple of years ago, basically big hedge funds were shorting these stocks in anticipation of their businesses going to zero, failing, because GameStop only had like local stores, and AMC theaters, everything was going down. So they were betting on prices going down. And then on Reddit and 4chan, I don't know, all of these platforms, people basically got together to say, hey, look, we can wreck them by just combining to buy into these shorts, buy extensive amounts of, everyone buy some shares of GameStop and AMC, and therefore push the price up, liquidating the shorters, which pushes the price up even more because they have to cover their positions, and then they would lose billions of dollars. So they apparently, hedge funds and large investors didn't learn anything, and they shorted again, and now they lost 5 billion in 2 days again. So the same as in crypto happens in the stock market. Now let's talk about miners. This is interesting because is kind of what is expected, because the price for mining a Bitcoin is now double than it was before the halving, right? So what you see here is we have the miner rewards, and then you have the fees, right? And we see here Bitcoin halving has historically been a selling event for miners. The initial rush of users to the Runes protocol cooled and fees have dropped. Miners now feel the pressure of reduced rewards. That is what we're seeing here. So that means that if you have reduced rewards and basically high energy prices, you could shut down your miner, and at a certain price point, and we saw before that the price point for mining one Bitcoin is now around 60,000, and the price being at 60,000 at some specific threshold, depending where your miner is and how you are running the mining operation, it could be more valuable to just shut down a miner for a couple of days, not consume the energy, and use that money to just buy Bitcoin off of the market, right? So before the halving, miners were selling, but now they could be even buying instead of producing. So and that in itself is what some miners are doing, and we see that also here with the hash rate. The hash rate is basically dropping off a little bit here now, probably because of that, like low price. That is not worth to run the mining machine, so they could just buy Bitcoin instead of producing it, which would push the price higher again, or they could keep selling if they still have to fund more mining equipment. But that's definitely something interesting to observe, and we had that also in the last cycle. Pro Legendary says, a moment of silence for those who got liquidated. Well, it's never good to short, right? Something. It's just bad for the market in general, all the shorting. I mean, if you're a trader and you make good money with it, so be it, but it's not so good. So let's get to the $1 million part for Bitcoin. And if that's in this cycle or by 2030, that's to be discussed, right? But here we have Michael Saylor saying, there are thousands of pension funds in the United States managing 27 trillion in assets combined. They are all going to need some Bitcoin. And if you see the performance of Bitcoin, definitely in comparison to whatever other assets, definitely these pension funds should have them in the portfolio to provide value to their investors, right? So if we take 27 trillion and we say, hey, they could allocate 1%, only 1%, probably they should allocate more, but only 1%, what's that? That's like, so 10% is 2.7 trillion, so that's 270 billion if they would add 1%. So as you see here, the potential theoretically is to have, let's say, 1 trillion or so allocated if you go by roughly 1%, by roughly 5%, that you get 1 trillion if you go more with 5%, or over the next couple of years, right? So that definitely could be happening. And let's see some examples of funds, not of pension funds, but of funds. So for example, here we have the Boston hedge fund, Bracebridge Capital, has revealed an investment of 363 million on various Bitcoin ETFs. So these investment funds, they are using the product, and this is why these asset managers were so eager to push this out, because now all the funds and hedge funds and whatnot, they will buy all across the board, because obviously you're not buying only on one, you're buying different ones. They have different fees and maybe different features to their ETFs. So they are buying Grayscale, they are buying ARK, they are buying BlackRock. So this is what this fund bought, and they have 363 million scattered out on the different Bitcoin ETFs. So that will just increase, and companies will do the same. So funds will do it, hedge funds will do it, ETFs will do it, other ETFs, like ETFs that have Bitcoin ETFs in it, will do it. So that's basically the second layer of complete multiplication, right? And then pension funds could do it, and then institutional investor companies that are just buying ETFs or buying those funds, and then you have the private investors that have a lot of money to buy those ETFs. So there is so much money that could be allocated to this, and then there is so much money in gold that you could reallocate, like 10 to 12 trillion. So even if there's only a portion, that there's so much money coming. So what is needed for a $1 million Bitcoin? Well, we are at 60, so we need a 40% increase to 100K and then a 10x theoretically, right? So that needs a lot of money. And if you say we are at $1 trillion market cap, and you get a so we would need a 12 to 14 trillion dollar market cap, basically. So you go to 40% increase would be 1.4 times 10 is 14 trillion. So that would be passing gold, but only by a little bit. That's not unrealistic with all that coming in. So let's say you get 1 trillion from the pension funds, that would basically double Bitcoin's price, right? Only that. And we're not talking about more institutional adoption. We're not talking about investors FOMOing and nothing else. So then we have also counties, states in the US investing, right? So certainly one of the most important disclosures for Bitcoin to date, the state of Wisconsin investment board reports the following position: BlackRock 100 million shares, and then Grayscale close to 64 million. So 163 million total if you add these up. 163 million by the state of Wisconsin. Now that's where you would say, okay, they could even add to this position. And you have 50 states, right? In the US alone, 50 of those states. If they all would allocate 100 million or 200 million, that's not bad, right? So that also is happening. This is a small part of a massive public investment fund. Total value of all positions in the 13F filing is 37.8 billion. But the long-term importance cannot be overstated. Wisconsin is now the second largest reporting holder of IBIT globally. So that means there's room to grow also. If Wisconsin with that position size is the second largest, there is so much room to grow still, right? So and then we have here the holdings of all the Bitcoin ETFs. So we still see Grayscale is still big, right? So we have all the 9 added. That's basically this here. And then we have Grayscale, we have BlackRock, MicroStrategy, Fidelity, then what Tether holds in Bitcoin, 75K. We have public traded miners like Marathon and TerraWolf and so on. I think TerraWolf is like Riot and Marathon for sure. And then we have Tesla's holdings. So yeah, and there is so much room to grow. There is so much room to grow. Because if you see the miners, they have combined, like the public traded only 39,000 BTC. That you can see that you just need 3 companies like Tesla to add Bitcoin, and that would absorb the entire stack that the miners have there. Okay, so now let's get to why like the biggest factor of Bitcoin going to 1 million, besides pension funds and all the adoption and passing gold as a store of value and whatnot. You remember I said that we will come back to GameStop and AMC breaking their levels, right? So let's listen to Jim Cramer quickly here, and then we'll go.
I just can't get 64, or I can't even get the 44 for that matter. In short, when I see this running GameStop, the responsible move is simply to say, sell, sell, sell. What about AMC? Different situation entirely. GameStop at least has a good balance sheet and actually turned a profit last year. It's just that the stock's overvalued compared to its peers. But AMC, well, if left to its own devices, I think this movie theater chain will mostly run out of money in 2026 when $2.8 billion in debt comes due. They sold some stock yesterday from a plan that allows them to raise capital, but the $250 million they raised just made it easier for them to pay their debts that come due in 2025. If this
So he's rambling on here about how can't see GameStop trading at $64 or even $44, and the responsible move is to sell. So we know that Cramer's always wrong. I don't know how he does it, but he's really good at it. Because if you look here, he can't see it trading at 44. He says not even at 44. Responsible move is to sell. So GameStop has hit the 64 that he wouldn't see, and it also hit the 44 again and again, like is trading around that level. So what he can't see is just it just happens, right? And here's the biggest reason now why I think that Bitcoin goes to 1 million is because of this, right? So he is predicting again, like has predictions. GME isn't going to 1,000. AMC won't make it to $100, and Bitcoin will never hit 1 million. So we saw that he was wrong on his predictions all across the board before. Now he's wrong. Probably again. So inverse Kramer is always true, which means that 1 million Bitcoin is confirmed, guys. It is confirmed. We just don't know when it will hit. Probably not in this cycle, but maybe in the next. If we go to 200 to 300K in this cycle, then probably for the next cycle it's a no-brainer. But we cannot discard the inverse Kramer. Let's see here. Veg Food Lover says, hey, have you heard about Gari Network? Yes, every stream someone of your guys is coming in here and chilling it. How are you doing? I'm your new subscriber. Thanks for subscribing. But actually I didn't get the widget, so I'm not, I don't even know if you did. Can you please check Gari? No, we checked Gari several times here and it was doing not so well. So we're not going to check Gari, unfortunately, today. Yeah, then this is an interesting projection of where the Bitcoin price could go. And this is also the last thing that we're really going to look at before we're going to Ecomi and Veve news. So we have the summer correction, right? And this is actually what we could expect here for the next couple of months if we have this type of lengthy correction, and it could actually go to 52K in the means of such a correction. That would mean also that we would be perfectly fine with the cycle, and then we challenged a new all-time high again at some point in September, and then we would rally to a significant new all-time high. And I think this is very important to point out. We made an all-time high here, but it was not significant. So if you see here from our previous all-time high to the all-time high that it made with the wick, it was 6.97%. Now since then, so since this point here in 2021, this is more than 3 years ago, right? So 6.97 during 3 years, and now calculate this against inflation. If you would clean these values up by inflation, you wouldn't have made a new all-time high. So inflation writ number would have come out slightly lower, right? I would like to see an all-time high that is so significant that if you cleaned up by inflation, you would. By the way, this would be a better flag target, right? So a conservative flag target now, if we consider this still a bull flag. Inflation would like ridding inflation, get rid of inflation would basically tell us, hey, we still have to make this all-time high, challenge the high, and yeah, come out here. Manuel Garcia says, hey, patient holder, it's patient hodler. Got a lot of GME shares under 220. Will maybe be able to buy a full BTC. Crazy. That is crazy. Don't forget to lock in profits when things are pumping like crazy. Are you excited for today's comic release? Oh yeah, there is the. When is it? Like, is it in 40 minutes? Is it like up to the end of the stream? Probably, right? I think it's in 40 minutes. I'm not sure. So I want to get one of the Doctor Doom #1 comics, I think, or the Miles Morales one. But definitely we need to buy a comic, I guess. Louis says, good morning. Good morning to you, Pro Legendary here. If Bitcoin hits all-time high at the end of the year, would we see small altcoin run in between, or altcoins gonna continue downtrend? I think throughout the correction, this summer correction, if we have that, and that would be more like, summer correction would look more like this, right? Something like this here into September. The altcoins would bleed during that. But once Bitcoin starts running, I think altcoins will also run. We saw that in the last cycle, that when Bitcoin started running hard, at some point the altcoin, like Bitcoin ran hard and then stopped at the next psychological barrier, and then the altcoins started running hard as people started to take profits out of Bitcoin and rolled it into altcoins. Manuel Garcia says, yeah, it is in less than 40 minutes. Okay, great. So that is definitely something to look out for. Then, okay, so let's get to the Ecomi price. So as we see, let me refresh here. Let's see if we are on track. Yeah, so crazy wick down, a crazy wick down. So unfortunately, we did not bounce here as we hoped, right? We hoped that once we're done here with this, in this area, that we would bounce on top of it and then go again like we did all the times here, but almost all the times. Sometimes we come back in here as we see. Now this is a big long wick, so there is selling pressure and buy pressure, but the price is coming down into that accumulation zone again. And I'm saying it again, if you need Ecomi, if you want Ecomi, that is in this range, that is a good pickup point in my opinion, because I think we saw this in many other coins, that these massive whale trading ranges where whales are manipulating the price and where whales are trading the price. If you are bullish, I'm saying if you are bullish on OMI, if you want to have OMI bags, then this zone, that's your entry point. Not here, and not here, no, down here, because you're saving hundreds of dollars per million of OMI. And we are in that zone at the moment. We are in that zone. We could, I think this long wick shows us that there is some buy pressure in this zone. So we could trickle down even a little bit more into the bottom of the zone again, even with the candle bodies over the next days. But that's definitely where you want to add more OMI if you want more OMI. I'm not saying that, oh my God, you have to have more and more OMI. But if you have the plan to buy, then this is your range. Manuel Garcia says, I want some Ultimate X-Men 3, planning on stacking the whole run as it comes out. Oh, cool. Oh man, okay, so you have the, is that the X-Men 97 thing, or is that a new Ultimate run? Evening fellas, hey Big A, what's going on? How are you doing, man? Okay, so for Ecomi, I would say that maybe a surprising number of Blackpink fans coming into the app would change something in terms of price, because then you would say, okay, if we have the base Omi availability and people discover what you can do with Omi, and then you have Omi to NFT and whatnot, so all of that could turn around the price. Other than that, I see us playing whale games for a prolonged time still, and we are not yet in danger of missing the entire bull run here, but we want to see more price action to the upside and then a break of this range here at some point for the bull run. So by the end of the year, we want to be above this. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. It is the Peach Momoko run. Oh yeah. I know that Energy is going crazy about the Peach Momoko stuff. Yeah. So many people like that, and what is really cool to see is that people are selecting an artist and then they're completing like all of the comic covers for these artists. Pro Legendary says, would you prefer Bitcoin start pumping soon or later this year? I would prefer it to start later this year, because it would mean that our cycle takes longer, and would be that our cycle would be more predictable, and it would mean that the longer this correction goes on for Bitcoin, the harder the pump will be, in my opinion. So the more time we have to cool off all the indicators, the crazier the pump would be. That is my opinion, at least. So I would rather see more time to accumulate. Yeah. Big A said it already beat against that support 3 times on Omi, so I would be concerned it would break below on the 4th test. Would probably buy a small bag if it does. That is true, but we also beat 1, 2, 3 macro times against the upper resistance. So also here you could say you knock on this and you go through, right? But you're right. We have bounce, double bottom bounce, right? And a bounce. So 4 times down here. Still, what could happen is that you have this wick down for a 3rd time, like here and like here. And that is where if you speculate on that, you want to have your buy order very slightly above this to get something off it, right? So this is on Gate.io. These wicks didn't happen on all exchanges, but I really like the chart on Gate.io, how it looks. And don't forget, this usually, I mean, it's still choppy here, but look at this. So this is what the price action does, right? It forms like these rounding little bottoms and double bottoms and so on. I hope that at some point the whole macro thing will do the same thing, so that I think it will. Like, you see this, right? If this projection turns out to be true, then you would have this like a macro cup and handle. And that would have a crazy price target then, right? So yeah, definitely not impossible to happen. How does it look, by the way? Yeah, this would be how it looks on the non-logarithmic, right? How that would look in total if we would go, and we would then only go to slightly below 4 cents, which is reasonable, I think, to say for like the most bullish thing. But I like to look at it on the logarithmic scale, and then we'll see if we go somewhere close to this. But let's go to the Veve stuff. So there's a lot to talk about for Veve. So first of all, someone looked at Blackpink's mobile game, which they also endorsed. It's already out for like 2 years. So that Blackpink mobile game has 150,000 daily active users and over 3.1 million lifetime downloads. That's crazy. So if we could get Blackpink people to be active on Veve as well, because they have their collectibles there, and I don't know, every now and then there will be Blackpink drops on Veve that these people are collecting and getting. Hey, that could be massive, right? Even if we only get 15,000 of these, or people that are also playing the Blackpink game, that would be pretty good for Veve. And I mean, in the end, if you're getting like a couple of thousand users, certainly the bear market editions are pretty scarce in comparison to that. 4 cents would be insane. Personally, I would be happy with one. Yeah, I would also be very happy to go back to all-time high. That would like 15x my bag or so. But doesn't mean that I don't leave some moon coins there for when it breaks out to beyond the all-time high, which is not impossible depending on how the performance of the rollout will be. But you also have to see, with all of that they're doing at the moment, you have to see that if we are resyncing with the cycle, our Bitcoin top will only be in over 1 year. So if we hold true the performance of the cycles before and the length of the cycles, and we say this left translation in the beginning gets balanced with a lengthening cycle, then we would top out. My prediction is that we top out on the 2nd of September 2025. that would be exactly 500 days after the halving, which has been the top in the last 2 cycles as well. 500 days after the halving was the real top. So I think that's where we top out. And then you have to see, okay, and that's where altcoins would go really crazy. So that would be in over a year. So if Veve and Ecomi, if they were planning with analysts on crypto cycle, then you wouldn't go crazy right now with everything that you have. You would launch some news and the bags are pumping and whatnot, right? But you wouldn't bring your biggest guns just yet, right? And this is, in my opinion, you would start with this in September, October, November, somewhere there. And I think that is also the reason why we didn't see a Veveverse, because probably someone was advising them on crypto. And it's like, oh, if you launch this right now, it will be just a nothing burger. And you will the only ones going all over it are the fudders. So yeah. So then let's get back to the Veve news. There is, so there was a little bit of a shocker, because there was a wallet on VVX Tracker coming up with a purchase in the data of 28,000. This is not a whale, unfortunately. It would have been cool, but I asked here, idea what was bought, is there a pattern? And then Crypto Bro gave us the information. They transferred all the collectibles from Marvel wallet to a new wallet. That's what you're seeing here. So unfortunately, no big whale, and ViviFox has already excluded that wallet from the whale tracker. So the data is correct now. Unfortunately, no big whale coming in. Then we have some David Yu action also here. So we saw here that on the Sandcrawler, David Yu responded, this will become one of those collectibles you wish you got to complete your set before it's gone. Obviously, also incentivizing people a little bit. Hey, maybe you want to buy this thing. And then Sergio said he's actually right. If they burn the remaining supply, this would be one of the most valuable collectibles on Veve. I would say it would certainly be one of the scarcest collectible, because there are only, I think, it only sold like less than 200 or so on the app. And then David Yu says, puts these burn icons. That's how toys become rare collectibles. And I think maybe this is maybe this is some of the strategy that is being executed here. So like, okay, launch it with whatever editions, let people that really want it buy it from store or from secondary, and then go and burn. And I would really encourage, I hope that at some point someone sees this from the team, what I'm saying here. I would encourage to really shock the market at one of these drops, in the sense of, hey, you launch it with 5,000 editions, people buy only 100, and you immediately, like a day after, you would just burn it. And without announcing it even, you just burn it. And then suddenly that it's a 100 edition one, like a drop that everyone would have gone for it. So that way you would have people that really want that stuff buy it, or let's give it 3 days so that people also can buy from secondary and a little bit of economy can develop around it. But that people that really want the stuff have to immediately go and buy this stuff, right? G-Flow says, PH, Veve and Omi setting up nicely. Have you thought about when you will take profit? Yeah, so definitely I will wait until we have even a sign of altcoin season. And I'm talking about Ecomi now again. So I will not even touch any of my Omi until I see confirmed altcoin season. And we see that in Bitcoin dominance. I'm not going to go there today, but as long as Bitcoin dominance is rising and is at high levels, I don't even worry about it, right? So the Bitcoin dominance will tell us when it's time to look at altcoins for selling. Yeah. And I'm really with a long-term horizon here, so I don't think that I will have to touch my Omi bags anywhere in 2024. I think it's probably going to be somewhere in 2025. Hi there, hey, says, you, Randy Rain, all have different perspectives. What's your top price prediction for Omi this bull cycle? Yeah, I would say I'll go with the 4 cents or so, which is way below. And it's fine. I think it's good if we have different perspectives, because Randy Rain, Doctor of Stuff, providing different perspectives on the Omi token, and me will give you a wholesome picture of the different views that are also out there in the market, right? So whereas Randy and Rain have way higher targets, my projection is that low. So my bear case is 0, right? Because in a very bearish case, you would go to 0. I don't think that will happen, but you need this 0 case always present. This counts for every altcoin. So for Bitcoin, I don't really see it. I don't have a bear case 0, but for every other altcoin, my bear case is always 0, which means that I'm accepting in my head the potential of the project failing and going to 0 and a total loss of my investment. But let's just exclude that and say, if it really doesn't do so well, it would end at 007 in an altcoin run, which would be then the major resistance here, this area, right? This would be the worst case scenario that I see, to end up the run here, put in a lower high in overall, and just drop into bear market. My medium case is that we slightly exceed the all-time high to 1.5 cent, and my bull target is somewhere here in the 4 cents. So basically I drew my scenarios in here. So it's like a bear, medium, bull case, okay? So and you can criticize all that you want. Like people love to hear what sounds like, people love to hear the story of where you become a millionaire with $1,000 invested, right? And that can happen, but I think the market cap of Omi is too big, and the whale wallets are too big, because you have to see there are whales that have hundreds of millions of Omi. I cannot see them waiting with selling their bags until Omi is like 10 cents or so. I really can't. I think that at 1 cent at all-time high, they will drop big amounts of their bags, and this this will require then a lot of retail FOMO into the Ecomi token to go to blast beyond that. The only thing that can solve this is extensive burn mechanisms. Okay, and I think if that comes, I will then have to change my projection. But as it is right now, these are my targets. By the way, quickly, and I'm going to pull this up. So yesterday, I met with Doctor of Stuff here in Munich. So first of all, if you see this, thanks for coming to Germany and to agreeing to visit. So to meet up with me, it was really great. Like I had a great time. He's a very nice guy, and we just talked a lot of Veve and Ecomi and all the stuff about what's good, what's still to improve, and we just had a really great time. So we met yesterday and the day before, and we took this nice little photo here. So that was cool, and so they are enjoying some Europe here now. Okay, so what else? Let's go to this one here, maybe for quickly. I think this was a great post from Veve Meister. That's so cool. Doc is a really nice guy. Yeah, absolutely. It was really nice. So Veve Meister, also a very nice guy. Met him in the first time in Auxerre, and we also had a good chat there, and he's super funny. So he said, sad to see that the real NFT space is struggling. Real Web3 projects, even the ones with big brands, are just shutting down their operations. Something similar happened with Starbucks. Do your own research. So maybe Web 2.5 is the way to go after all. Watch the space and learn. I think it's. I think that some people some companies just thought they can dip their toes into NFT, and then they didn't have a plan for many years to come what to do with this. It's very hard, I think, to launch your brand on your own, or like on a protocol, and then just have it sit there. You have to have an action plan that keeps people excited and that adds value to the collectibles. So in the sense of Veve, the good thing is that the brands, they benefit from other brands being there, so that users can discover back and forth. So Coca-Cola NFTs are available on Veve, so the Star Wars and everyone, they can see that on the market and maybe add one to their collection, right? So Budweiser might have wanted to go with Veve. Whatever. They didn't, and the problem is, so you don't have recurring fees from it. Then the problem is, how do you fund your operation? It will just be like, after a while, it will just drain money and don't make money. So they just wanted to sell NFTs, and then they are going to like not support it anymore, right? So we see here, just like that, the Budweiser Discord has been deleted, ripped to the 12,135 people that got rugged and holders of their NFTs. Seems sketchy and unprofessional from a $60 billion company to just delete their Discord and say nothing. Well, and this is the thing, right? Many people say that, oh, Veve is a rug pull. That is a rug pull, and that is one of the biggest brands in history. You got an NFT, and I would say even that is discussable if Budweiser just rugged, just because they deleted their Discord. If you still have the collectible, and it maybe gives you, I don't know, if you go to the Budweiser factory, you can get a bottle of beer, I don't know what value. If I were them, I would just add a small value, because 12,000 bottles of beer or cans of beer is just really nothing for them. Just like this mini value that you can just go once per month somewhere and get a free can or so. that would already make it not a rug, right? So anyways, it's crazy, because in other projects, like, oh, that's a rug pull, when it's actually not, right? Good. So then, oh, hey Luke, what's going on? Good to see you here. Thanks for supporting the channel as always. Yeah, then let's talk about Blackpink. So we have this one here from Randy saying, according to all K-pop, which is a site with 6.1 million followers, new registrant and collectors on Veve during Blackpink Week will receive various benefits and gifts, including signed Blackpink albums. I may have to reallocate funds from Omi into the collectibles. Well, whether you're doing that or the bottom line is, I didn't know that people will get physical stuff like signed albums and so on. That makes it much more appealing, apparently, to for these collectors to get something on Veve. If you also get like this digital link where you basically have a digital collectible that gives you the chance to win something else physical. I think that's cool. So then Veve is advertising with the Blackpink NFTs on Twitter and on other platforms. So that's interesting. They are pushing this out. It's being shown as an ad to people. That's something new, or at least we didn't see that often yet. And I think we can expect this with the bigger drops for sure. Also for other collectibles. And then we have Mr. MC1 coming out here. A Blackpink drop on Veve featured on Times India. We will look at the article in a second. World's largest English language daily and 185 years old. So a super old news outlet. 300 million digital audience, 13.5 million readers, 7 of 10 online Indians are on the Times internet. So and that's great. I don't know if India has like a big Blackpink, but we see it here. Times Entertainment. Blackpink unveils their first digital collectibles on AR platform Veve. So they have written a whole article about this, about YG Entertainment, which is behind Blackpink, and opening the digital doors. They write about the drop date. They describe Veve. They even linked the Twitter post with the promotional video. So this is really good, like really big coverage, right, for Veve here. That we already had. I don't know why it's open 2 times. But then also here, Veve is doing sponsored ads here in Korea, in Korean. Is anyone else seeing these in their feeds? So you see here like sponsored reel, and you see this is like in Korean. Learn more with the learn more, like with the call to action button, that definitely shows that the marketing is expanding for Veve. Like Veve is doing actively something there. And then we see also that the band members, like here we have Jisoo with 78 million followers. So she also is going like find out more on Veve official with a link in it to Veve in her story to 78 million fans. It's just, there's a lot going on. I think this is the most heavily promoted drop that we ever had. And I really worry that the servers will not take it and that something doesn't work fluently. But so because if there are really so many people coming in, like Disney style, we remember how crazy the Disney drop was in 2021. So I really hope that the server infrastructure is ready for all of that, right? So Mewtwo says, I would love to get the same for sports. FA Michael Jordan, for example, that would be crazy. Yeah, or like I don't know, Lionel Messi. Or probably not him because he's like an ambassador for Chili's. But yeah, so for like the big ones from sports, it would be also cool. I just don't know if the sports, the big people from sports would go with Veve or if they'd rather be on Chili's. I don't know. just because so far we haven't seen sports, but since they bring these types of licenses, probably people will see, okay, this does very well, we earn millions with this, maybe they want to have it on Veve. Manuel Garcia says, this Blackpink week reminds me a bit of the golden moments. Yeah, exactly, that's what I was thinking about as well. Only that, other than this, and so this technically reaches more people than golden moments. So yeah, this technically gets more attention than the golden moments back in those days, because Veve is doing way more in terms of marketing right now. However, the only difference is that the golden moments was in the last. It was basically in altcoin season, or in the end of altcoin season, when people all, were sitting in massive profits from their altcoins. Whereas this drop is before the big run up. So yeah, would be great if it marks the start of an uptrend in Veve. I agree. That would be cool. This is way bigger. Yeah, this is way bigger in terms of the audience, but we will see how big it is in terms of the money allocated overall and the prices, because you have to see like the golden moments, they were going for like C3PO was going for 1,000 gems. Now it's at 100 or so, at less than 100 gems, which is also normal. Like if you treat a collectible like an altcoin and you say, oh, it's 90% down, that would be normal. Yeah, and then we know we need more liquidity into the app to have the prices go up and so on. You know this talk already. Now, I said I would do a nice little reveal. Some people know it already. Look at that. This is my transaction history, and I am now a proud holder of the Veve gold and silver logo. So I'm a part of that fam now, after a long time, and obviously this is a hold for me, right? This logo, being part of that fam, so I'm not going to dump that logo or anything. Unfortunately, the other transactions of the comics that I bought, they are not here, so everything from the comic side is not there. Yeah. Thank you, Mewtwo. And full transparency, I got this basically from when I went to Crypto XR. So this I thank the team for the trust and this making me the member of these version 1 gold silver logo holders. So thank you very much to Dan and David especially, and everyone else who made it possible. I had a blast at Crypto XR, that's for sure. So thank you, Luke, for this one. And yeah, now I have this one, this thing, and you see the floor price is at $4,000. So that stuff is really no joke, right? Which immediately brought the vault value up to $10,000. As you can see here, also full transparency. We will, though, because I'm not going to sell this, if we look at the vault valuation, deduct the current floor price from that overall. Like if we deduct 4,000, the floor of the rest is 6,200 or so. If we deduct this floor price, yeah. So that is for sure crazy. It makes me really happy. And Dr. Stuff and I, we celebrated that yesterday, that this logo came into my collection. So he was also really happy for that. Congratulations on the logo. Thank you so much, guys, for sure. So yeah, that is the little reveal. So maybe we can also take the chance here on Stacker to see what's going on. Veve notable transactions. By the way, why isn't these? Seems to be a little bit of a problem. These are not loading correctly. I don't know. So the notable transactions, I cannot. Usually they are on this front page, but we cannot really see them. So yeah, unfortunately, what we are seeing though is that on the week a couple of these collectibles are a little bit on the green, right? I mean, this here just did a 4x. So probably someone sold it a little bit low, and now there's the next one only at 2,000. But these are the Louboutin shoes, very scarce, I think. Let's see. There is a total. Oh, there is actually 6,000 in circulation. I didn't know that. That cannot be true, right? Because like the top holder only has 8. So where's the rest of these shoes, of these Louboutin shoes? Yeah. Anyways, there's like a couple of collectibles. Maybe because the there's the transaction. Okay, notable transactions loaded again. So, okay, so we see. Yeah, that's what I figured. Someone bought the floor on this, and the floor was like 4 times lower. So here's my logo transaction, by the way. And then we have here a Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man. So that's at least a 4K or so. So this also came down in value quite a bit. And then, we see some bigger transactions here. Someone minted the 31 on the Sandcrawler, by the way. That's pretty cool. 31, that's a very low. Should that be the case? Someone minted a 31. Shouldn't that be like first public mint is 41? Yeah, and someone bought the 41 symbiote and so on. So there is partner statues being traded. So there are some big trades going on, right? And that was like only yesterday we have these things here. Yeah, anyways. So did I cover everything that I wanted here with the Blackpink? Yeah, I think so. So guys, that it's just great. Let's see if last thing. Let's see the user development. Let's just refresh the page if we can. There we go. So user development actually went up and now trickling down again. So actually we do not have really movement in users with one collectible, at least, since we do not have really progress since 4 days. So it's just up and down. I mean, here's 3 more. But I'm really curious to see once the first Blackpink collectibles start, if we will see a spike up like this, right? So a lot of people like that have no collectibles getting it, and then not a drawdown but really holding it. That's what we want to see. People are trying to match Veve and Ecomi logos. Yeah, that's also pretty cool. I still have to get my hands on the Ecomi logo for sure, but I wouldn't have had a chance even if I transferred all my Ecomi, because I don't have 10 million Ecomi tokens. But yeah, it's really cool. I know that you, Trucking Hank, have the logo. Alan says, great stream again. Thanks, man. Congrats on the logo. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, with that, I think we can look pretty bullish on what's going on with Veve here with Blackpink. We're going to analyze how it's turning out. For the Ecomi token, we will have to wait and see how it turns out there at the bottom. Overall, I think that there are good things coming for Veve from a drop perspective, and let's see how the impact is, right? So guys, wherever you are on the world, have a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon, and I catch you in the next video or live stream. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. We had 30 people here, so please smash up the like button. And